morning, folks. This is Terry Trueblood, Chair of Trustees for the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police. Today we have with us Jerry Lieb. Jerry's got an extensive background in law enforcement and then moved over as a field supervisor for the Labor Council's, FOP Labor Council, a sister organization to the state lodge. And Jerry, thanks for being with us today.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
Hey, I tell you what, we're going to be talking, folks, about the sex offender registration law and also the proposed law. We are looking at House Bill 3913, Representative Lilly, Democrat out of the Chicagoland area. She's proposed basically moving the sex offender registration footage from being 500 yards or 500 feet away from schools to all the way down to 250 feet. So we're talking less than a football field away from schools where registered sex offenders could be. Jerry, tell us what the impact, and I know you've got a lot of experience in the sex offender, world from a law enforcement perspective. So fill us in a little bit.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, I've handled at least 50 to 60 child sexual assault cases in my career as a detective. And it's a devastating event to the family, to the child. It changes their lives forever. And I've had victims as young as 5 years old to 12, 13-year-old. And basically what the Sex Offender Registration Act is, it's not to keep them 500 feet away. It's not just schools. It's from any facility like daycare or anything that caters to children 18 years and younger. So by changing it from 500 feet to 250, makes no sense to me why anyone would want to modify anything that deals with keeping track of sex offenders. And the most concerning part of that bill proposal is the second part. And the second part says that if the sex offender is homeless, he's not required to report an address. So in other words, we're setting up a situation now where every sex offender, the last thing they want to do is go into the local police departments and register as they're required to do under law. They're all going to be homeless now. So what that means is we're going to lose track of all these sex offenders. And it's not adult sex offenders, it's child sex assault offenders. So it's very concerning to me that anybody would want to even address that because it is so damaging what they do to children. It's incredible.
Yeah, so reducing the distance is ridiculous. I would imagine, I'm just speculating, of course, but there's got to be some reason that they want to do that is almost self-serving in some capacity. I don't know what it is, but if somebody checked into it, I'd probably figure this out because this doesn't make any sense in the world we know today, how, bad did you treat
I think what I find very surprising about this kind of legislation coming out is I cannot imagine that the basic citizens of our state support making it easier for sex offenders rather than harder. I cannot imagine any parent out there saying they would support this legislation. So it really does make me question, why would a person elected by their citizens in their districts do something that I'm sure their citizens don't support?
Yeah, and I'm quite sure most citizens don't read the General Assembly bills. Obviously, they read about what passed in the newspaper sometimes. But if this would pass for some strange reason, which I would hope calmer heads and smarter minds would prevail, people are going to throw a tizzy fit about this. This is just completely opposite to what people want. We want to protect our children, make sure they're as safe as can be, and this is reducing it to the point where, I say I'm homeless, so I don't have to register. That's incredible. So, Jerry, I appreciate you bringing this to our attention. And so I would encourage folks to call Representative Lilly's office and the Speaker's office, and as well as your own senators and reps, make them well aware that you're opposed to 3913. This is just off the top crazy as far as I'm concerned, that you would even do that. Jerry, got any closing thoughts?
No, I agree. I think it's time that our citizens, with what's going on right now, and devastating law enforcement is what's going on right now. And I think our citizens need to get involved, start saying how these changes are really going to impact them negatively.
Yeah,
It's going to
absolutely.
put their children at risk. The other laws they're changing are putting them at risk. And I think it's time that our people stand up and start looking at what their elected officials are doing on their behalf.
Absolutely. Well, folks, this is an important issue that's not yet a law. So, put your 2 cents worth in on this, because we don't need these pro criminal laws getting on the books. That is not helping, the vast majority of citizens. And, it's our General Assembly, and we need to really make it known that we either oppose or completely are against some of these things, so they can act accordingly. So, from everybody here at the Facts Matter Moments, we appreciate your time. Have a great day, folks. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.